Hey family, it's your man Mark Black. Sorry about the technical difficulties. One pony don't stop, no show. All right, and don't worry, I'll correct it. So if you concerned about whether or not you might be missing it or whatever, go ahead and close out of the old broadcast and climb into the new one. Let me just let y'all know. All right. Sorry again about the technical difficulties, family. Yeah. Boy, it seems like when you about to go in, you know what I'm saying? You boy, YouTube or something finds a way to stop that shit from happening, you dig? Because I was definitely about to go ahead and get it in, you know what I'm saying? So we ain't gonna stop the show. Let's go ahead and do the damn thing, all right? Because as I was saying, I've been noticing a lot of shit that's going on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of fuckery that's happening. And I'm just going to be quite frank with you, family. We got to have a talk with our so-called diasporan black brothers and sisters. All right? We need to discuss some issues that I noticed that we're having happen. Because if we don't talk about what the fuck is going on, then what's going to end up happening here is that we're going to see pretty soon a real, for lack of a better way to say it, a real, let me make some adjustments here, a real point where we just ain't going to be able to fuck with each other like that. And I don't want to see that happening, to be honest. I don't want to see that happening with us. But before I allow these individuals from other countries to come here and disrespect and shit on and use up my people, I will eat their fucking lunch. I'm going to eat their fucking lunch. So let's talk about this shit. Because diasporan black immigrants, understand one important thing. We see how you do us, right? I mean, think about it. A lot of yous come here and yeah, you get flack from us, right? Yeah, it's no doubt. We give you shade, all right? I'm not saying that you haven't experienced negative stuff that came from the descendants of slaves, black people in America. If you're from Africa, we call you names like African booty scratcher and shit like that, right? Don't get it twisted. We definitely call you names, all right? We may not understand how you're culturally operating from where you from. Most of us have never even had a chance to leave our fucking neighborhoods. So could it possibly be that you might understand how we may see anything that's foreign as fearful or fear-making or scary, right? Is there any possible way that you motherfuckers could understand? I mean, think about it. You come here to this country, sometimes you may not even speak the language, especially if you're Afro-Latino. Because, yeah, while you motherfuckers won't use the term, because where y'all from, white Latinos and African Latinos may not make that distinction. Well, you ain't fucking where you from anymore. You come here to America where that distinction is made whether you want it to be or not. You simply refuse to understand why native black folk, why descendants of slaves here in America might not immediately accept you. But trust me when I tell you, there's a reason why we don't immediately accept you. There's definitely reasons why even if you are black-skinned, dark-skinned, and you're an immigrant, that native black Americans or native black citizens of the United States, because I got told America is Central America and South America too, and that North Americans are just appropriating or, claiming American. Well, you know what? I'm fucking American. All right? So since all we do is go around the world and steal everything from everybody, then fuck you. I'm an American. So Native Black Americans have reasons why we don't immediately reach out the motherfucking hand of love to immigrants, even if they're darker skinned or black immigrants. Part of the reason why we don't extend the hand of love out to you is because you don't come here looking to extend the hand of love out to us. One of the first things every immigrant group does when they come here to Fortress America, every immigrant group, whether they look like me or they look like motherfucking Heidi Klum, they come here and the first thing they understand is that white folks have all of the resources. They have all of the access and they dominate the political system, the educational system, the banking system, and the whole 9 yards. They dominate everything. So if I want to try to make a way, I'm going to have to be finding some method, some means by which to be able to get access to those white resources. What that inevitably means, though, for us, the descendants of slaves here in the United States, is that means that every immigrant group that comes here adopts an anti-black attitude. Tell me I'm fucking lying. It don't matter if they blacker than the ace of fucking spades. They understand one thing if they don't understand shit else. That in Fortress America, it's white folks that have the predominance of all the resources, all the jobs, all the resources, all the businesses, all the land, and so on and so forth. They didn't come here because they love America so motherfucking much. They didn't come here because it's Estados Unidos above everybody else. They came here because they wasn't able to get the bag where the fuck they from, so they come here to try and get it. Whether they legal immigrants or illegal immigrants. They're not coming here because they have this sense of, oh, beautiful for spacious. Get the fuck out of here. You're not even patriotic. How come you motherfuckers ain't working to make the DR great again, or working to make motherfucking Honduras great again, or making Panama great again? No, you want to come here and get your greatness off of the growth of the United States of America. So let's stop pretending that y'all somehow or another doing America a motherfucking favor by coming here like y'all just super Americans and we all just fucking it off. Like we don't understand what it's like to be American. We don't have no love for it. We don't care about it. We don't respect it or none of that shit. My people have fought, bled, and died to be fucking Americans. But yet you get to come here and disrespect the shit out of us so that you can get to hold the bag. Elias said, if you think it's about you stealing my wealth, I'll steal yours. Facts. Because let's not get it twisted. That statement that Elias said works on so many motherfucking levels. First of all, it works on the level of the immigrants themselves. Let's face facts. These same white motherfuckers who y'all come here and sidle up next to in an attempt to kiss their ass, get that white acceptance and start holding the bag, the little bag that they give you. You know what I'm saying? Those same white motherfuckers are responsible for some of the fuckery that you're experiencing in your country. But rather than understanding the history of America to the point where you feel as if you might be able to identify with us, the descendants of slaves, the first thing you do is throw us under the motherfucking bus. You use us for whatever resources you're able to get from us as a springboard. At which point you then move promptly and firmly to side with whites. And like I said, you could be blacker than fucking Kingsford charcoal coming from some of these countries and it won't fucking matter. Because they understand that to sidle up next to whiteness automatically means embracing anti-blackness. So that's reason number one why your black brothers and sisters who are descendants of slaves in the United States ain't running up to you talking about, hey, brother from the DR, hey, brother from the Honduras, how you doing? Because we've watched you for generations come here and springboard yourself into prosperity, springboard yourself into safety and sanctity and wealth and all of that off our backs, leaving us in the fucking mud. We see you. That's why we ain't chasing you down to show the hand, to extend the hand of love a la Martin Luther King and Common. Because you motherfuckers don't come here out of love for us. You don't come here and see the dynamic between us and the rest of America and say, God damn, that is unjust as fuck. I'm going to fight for justice for those people. Nope. Nope. Your motives are completely mercenary. You come here to better your lives and in a pinch, your family's lives by setting the anchor here to bring more of your peoples here. And you could give less than a fuck about me and mine. And if you think we don't see that, you're sadly mistaken. Of course we fucking see it. And you just refuse to understand or accept. That's why we won't fucking just reach out to you and full-throatedly embrace you. Another thing that you diasporan black Africans or black immigrants, because as Africans, it's not even just the diaspora. Although most of the time when I see this shit, it's from people in the diaspora, because all of us in the diaspora, look, let's just keep it a buck for a second, shall we? The only difference between me and some motherfucker from Puerto Rico or some motherfucker from the DR or some motherfucker from Haiti or some motherfucker from Antigua or some motherfucker from Jamaica or some motherfucker from El Salvador, the only difference between them and us from the jump is where the motherfucking boat stopped. Elias said most immigrants don't know black history from 1495 to 1960s. Facts. You know why? Because they don't have to know our history. When they take their little citizenship exams, they get asked questions like, who wrote the motherfucking Star Spangled Banner? Oh, I know that one. Francis Scott Key. They don't have to know shit about who Francis Scott Key was, what he believed in, what he stood for. They don't have to know what the Star Spangled Banner means. They get asked questions about the Constitution of the United States. But they don't have to understand how utilizing Jim Crow, they were able to deny us the protection of the fucking law that they're claiming that they want them to know. They don't have to know none of that shit. And what's worse is that rather than having the respect and the humility to understand that they're entering into a country whose dynamic they don't understand, they make the crazy making nonsensical move of overlaying the dynamics from their home countries onto us black Americans here. So you come here at times, immigrants, black immigrants from all over the motherfucking world. You come here and sometimes you don't even speak the language. You may speak French or patois, right? You may speak Igbo or whatever the languages are in Nigeria if you come from Nigeria, right? If you come from Africa, you speak the languages of your peoples there. You may barely understand English at times. So rather than exercising a bit of humility, getting your feet wet, getting acclimated and familiarized with the terrain, right? Learning about the dynamics of your new home country, you simply see people that look like you and you overlay the dynamics of your home country onto us. This is how you motherfuckers get away with shit like, well, see, I didn't even know I was black until I came here and some nigga told me. This is how y'all get away with that shit. As if There is no pale skin, dark skin dynamic. Where the fuck y'all from? Hell, the DR is a perfect motherfucking example. You know what? There is no faster way of pissing a Dominican off than to tell them that they black. Even though they might look just like you. There's no faster way. You'll get into a fist fight with a Dominican if you tell the motherfuckers they black. I'm not black. I'm not black. I'm Dominican. The fuck? Dominican is a nationality. The color black is used to describe your Africanness, your heritage, your lineage as a child of Africa, you dumb motherfuckers. Oh, but they will go hard in the motherfucking paint if you got the nerve to tell them they black. Now, ask yourself this question, black family here in America, right? The descendants of slaves. Ask yourself this question. Why is it that these black immigrants can come here and identify with everything but blackness if what I said about no one wants to be black in today's world wasn't true? Africans are running from blackness. Diasporan black people are running from blackness. Every black motherfucker on the planet is running from blackness. They don't want it. They don't value it. They don't respect it. They don't esteem it. They don't see it as a positive. They don't see it as something that they want for themselves. No, Miss Denny, you are not late. You are fashionably late. You right on motherfucking time. Damn it, family, we're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about it today. We're going to talk about the fact that they can come here and overlay the dynamics of their home countries onto us as if how we were treated here, how we have to navigate this motherfucking space as the descendants of slaves has no material value whatsoever. They tell us we act all the same, but then when they come here, they overlay how they operate in their home countries onto us. Talk about projection. You know what? In a lot of motherfucking Spanish-speaking slave-holding countries, there was a lot of admixture between the white Spanish slavers and the motherfucking slaves. There were free blacks who actually were able to take advantage of being married to plantation holders and shit. So yeah, while there's still a negative black-white dynamic, and if you don't believe me, just turn on Univision or Telemundo and you'll see it for your motherfucking self. While that's true, it may not have been to the extent that it was here in Fortress America, where we were property, chattel slaves, where slavery was inherited from generation to generation, where if your mother was a slave, then it didn't matter if you was white, bright, light as the motherfucking sun or darker than the ace of spades, you were a slave. You were property. You don't get to come here and fucking tell us the dynamic about how we need to operate in this space. You don't get to come here and tell me that my experience as a descendant of slaves in America isn't true simply because you got to be able to kiss the white asses of whatever were the remnants of your slave masters back in your own country. Fuck out of here with that shit. Elias said Dominicans are not black, they're mulatto. No, they'll be anything but black. I'm telling you, you will get punched in the motherfucking mouth by a tiny 4'11" Dominicana if you have the nerve to say that she's negro. She will punch you in the fucking mouth. Because family, if you think blackness has been hard for us here in the United States of America, everywhere else in the motherfucking world, they running from it too. I talk to us because I'm your brother, right? Like iron sharpens iron. So does one man sharpen another. So I talk to my descendant of slaves first. But when I say that nobody wants to be fucking black, I'm not just talking about us. How is it that you have a country like Uganda? A country like Uganda, just picking one at fucking random, where you walk into a courtroom in Ghana and you got a judge or multiple judges if it's like an appellate court or something like that. You might have 5, 6 judges up there. And all these niggas is blacker than charcoal. Beautiful, melanated, black ass motherfuckers. Wearing black robes and white woolen wigs like old white men. Even though white men haven't ruled Uganda in fucking forever. When you go to a motherfucking court, you are being sat in judgment by white men with black fucking skins. Don't nobody want to identify as black. Ever since the thievery and the advent and the rise of the pale people of the planet Earth, blackness is the one thing everybody's trying to avoid like the fucking plague. These goddamn black immigrants come here and the first thing they learn is to side with white folks, with their interests, with what they want, what makes them happy. White acceptance is a hell of a drug. And then on top of that, they come here and they overlay the dynamics from their home countries onto us. Family, when you look at the racial hierarchy of various countries where black people live, man, the fuckery is just insane. If you want to talk about mental mind fuckery, go to Brazil. In Brazil, you got light people that we would consider white folks that are Negro. They're black folks. Then you got black folks who are blacker than the ace of spades who are basically considered like mulattoes or a buffer class. Their whole racial dynamic down there is completely fucked up. But what would you expect from a country that had the most of the slaves that were brought to it in the transatlantic slave trade? Brazil got the most of us, like in the millions, like 60 some odd million black people taken from Africa and brought to Brazil. And them white folks down there was tyrants. And they would parcel out and divvy out little nigga snacks and privileges like the shit was crack cocaine. So it's no wonder when you go to Brazil, you don't even know who the fuck you talking to. You might see somebody who look like you, but they don't identify as you. Again, I want to stress, there are second generation immigrants, some of which I love deeply. My sister, Miss Denny, is a second generation. Her family is immigrant stock. But Miss Denny is second generation. She grew up here in America. She grew up as a black woman. She knows the dynamics and how things have had to operate, how she's had to maneuver this space. There are others. So if this shoe do not fit you, don't fucking put it on. But I'm not biting my tongue today, goddammit. I'm talking about this shit. You know, here's another motherfucking thing to take into account. By the way, family, if you're enjoying the broadcast, throw some coins your brother's way, man. I'd appreciate it. Here's another thing that we need to talk about. We need to talk about the fact that you motherfuckers come here and one of the things that you do in order to get your place in the sun is work to actively perpetuate the negative stereotypes laid on us in America. I'll give you a case in point. What set this whole conversation off for me was a conversation I had recently with somebody who is of immigrant stock. Now, I understand that if you are an immigrant to this country, especially if you came in through the right way, which this individual did, I understand that you have a vested interest in all things immigration, right? So when America gets to start talking about closing off the border and building a motherfucking wall, you're going to feel some kind of way about that. And you might even have family members who didn't come in the right way, who are undocumented, right? So I would never ask immigrants to speak out against their own fucking interests. Never. If you a black immigrant from wherever the fuck you at, be that. That's fine. If you identify with your immigration status over your racial status here in America, cool. You just don't motherfucking get to tell me shit then about the racial dynamic in this country. If you black and you an immigrant and you come here and you want to be raceless, that's cool. Do you? Do you? But then you don't get to sit here and say a fucking thing about how we have to navigate this space, about how we have to operate in this country. You don't get to say shit. You either want to side with the pale people, the white folks, or you want to be raceless. That's cool. Be that. But keep your fucking mouth off of me and my people. Stop trying to perpetuate bullshit ass myths that don't even fucking match the reality. Here's one right here that will fuck you up. I had this person tell me, so let me get this straight. You're going to go out there and you're going to go out into the fields, into the desert and pick the crops and all of that. But my people will. Really? So who the fuck you think was out there doing that before they let you motherfuckers come here? You know, because niggas is lazy. It's not that we can't fucking perform agricultural duties, pick crops, and so on and so forth. No, we got to have the Latinos come here because without them, we don't have nobody picking the motherfucking crops. No, that's not really what the problem is, actually. Because my people traditionally have been the ones in agriculture here in the United States of America. The problem is that you motherfuckers come here and they can pay you non-American wages, at which point you can migrate. You could go from growing area to growing area. That's why it's called migrant labor. Because you come here, you migrate from job site to job site, picking, harvesting, all that other shit. And then what do? You head back to your home countries where those dollars you earned here stretch way fucking further than it would here. Here, you are less than a fucking peon. Here, you are less than nobody. Here, as a fucking migrant, as a goddamn undocumented, illegal ass immigrant, you are nothing. But you can take those dollars that you earn by slitting me and my fucking people's throat, and you can run back to motherfucking Mexico, to Honduras, to goddamn Guatemala, to El Salvador. You could run back to your motherfucking home country with now American dollars that are worth way, way more than it would be for you here. There's whole industries of migrants who come here, work for a few months, then go back home and live like fucking kings and queens. The problem isn't that black Americans don't know how to fucking pick crops. It's not the problem that we don't want to be involved in agriculture. The problem is that I have to stay here in America with them wanting to pay me un-American ass wages. You pay me 15 motherfucking dollars an hour and I'll go out there and pick any goddamn thing you want. But you think white folks want to pay higher food prices at the grocery store just so niggas can have jobs? Not when they can have you motherfuckers slip across the border like goddamn thieves in the night brought over here by coyotes and pay you shit wages that would be shit wages for here but are great wages where you from. But you continually push that bullshit ass dynamic, that bullshit ass stereotype that black Americans are just lazy. They don't want opportunities. They don't want to work. No, what we don't want is we don't want to work for what's the equivalent in America of fucking peon or slave wages. We actually want to utilize our labor so that we can live in the country in which we're fucking citizens. You can't pay me what you would pay some Guatemalan campesino to harvest oranges, especially when they can go back home with that same money and live well. I have to stay here. I have to pay $3 a motherfucking pack for toilet paper. I have to pay, $2.50 a pound for motherfucking chicken and so on and so forth. You don't have to pay that where the fuck you from. But you stay shading us. You stay sneak dissing us, as Dollar Will says. And not to mention the fact that you come here and willing to work for them low-ass wages ensures that we who are already on the bottom of the totem pole don't have an iceberg's chance in hell. You consistently work to side with white folks. You bring your dynamics of how you and white folks operate in the countries where you come from and try to overlay that bullshit onto us. And then on top of that, you motherfuckers perpetuate all of the negative stereotypes that white people claim about us here in America. Dollar Will, facts. Dollar Will said, we fight for equality. They fight for slave wages. But see, think about this. They ain't slave wages to them. Family, do some motherfucking research. Find out what the median average salary is for somebody who lives in Guatemala. And get back to me. And now tell me how you have a whole family full of migrant laborers that come here, right? Because now they're licensing migrant laborers, right? Sure, they're not giving them citizenship, but they're also not rounding them up with INS and shit. They're not sending La Migra to take, and bring in the dogs and sick on these motherfuckers. Right? So they can work. Look at the median salary of somebody that lives in Guatemala, and then you bring a whole family full of them motherfuckers here to the United States to work just a single growing season and watch them migrate across all around the country. They could do this shit for 6 months here and go back for 6 months and relax. But if I come here and I pick crops for the same wages, I would need to be doing that all day, plus have a job at night just to be able to have a fucking place to live, just to be able to have an efficiency apartment. The problem isn't that black people don't want fucking work. The problem is we won't work for the same fucking wages they'll pay you. Because we have to live here. You don't. See, because what a lot of these motherfucking black immigrants and other immigrants, so immigrants in general, but since I'm talking about black immigrants, let's talk about it. Let's tell the truth of the motherfucking matter. You do realize that if you're from Jamaica, if you're from Haiti, if you're from the DR, if you're from Cuba, or wherever the fuck you from, and you black, should these white folks lose their minds tomorrow and decide to kill up everything with melanin in its skin, your ass at least have a homeland you can go back to. So while you sitting here trying to shade us, sneak diss us, low-key disrespect us, perpetuate all the negative stereotypes that are already laid on us, you can hide your hand and throw stones. But should anything ever go sideways, should the shit ever go left, you can go back home. Meanwhile, me and my people left here holding the bag of the fuckery. You sons of bitches owe us more than you'll ever know. More than you'll ever fucking give us credit for. Yesterday, you had fucking black immigrants trying to tell us not to be all angry, not to be expressing how we understand the dynamic under which we live. You had fucking black immigrants trying to tell us to be more like Martin Luther King, who they don't know shit about. All they know is what white folks have told them about our brother. They don't know how he fucking shamed the liberal white folks, how he started talking about the fact that he was concerned about the idea that he may have been integrating his people into a burning house. Oh shit, thank you, Miss Denny. Miss Denny dropped a bomb in this bitch. The lower middle class average for Guatemalans' yearly income is $1,619 in US dollars. Okay, so let's do some motherfucking math, shall we? Let's say that you have a family of 4. Now, you may have 2 children who are too young Although the laws for picking crops and shit in agriculture are different than the jobs for like working at McDonald's and shit. You can work in agriculture at a lower age. So let's say you got one 14-year-old and one 12-year-old. The 12-year-old may be too young to work. So they would be going to school or whatever the case may be, right? Okay, so you got a family of three. A family of three out there in the fields pulling oranges off the trees, all right? Or picking lemons, right? Or harvesting lettuce, okay? And let's say that at the end of the harvest, each of the motherfuckers is walking away with about $600. And that's one area. One area. They migrate, you know. They go from place to place. They might start harvesting in the South and then might move up to Oregon to harvest shit. Or they might move to the Midwest to help harvest shit. So they migrate. And let's say, for the sake of argument, that when it's all said and told, they done busted they hump for about 4 or 5 months, traveling all over the United States, and they walk out this motherfucker with $3,000 each. After 6 months of work, $3,000 each. Here, they would be living under overpasses. They'd be eating out of garbage cans. But $3,000 per person puts them in the top income earners in Guatemala. And you mean to tell me that they get to come here and talk shit on me and mine? That they get to come here and disrespect me? Because I couldn't live off of $3,000 in half a year. That's only about $6,000 a year income. I'd be on every fucking assistance support that this country had. Section 8, food stamps, welfare, WIC if I had kids, everything. I couldn't afford to be an American. But they can come here for 6 months, travel the fuck around, picking crops. Don't have to worry about la migra. Don't have to worry about no fuckery. And then go back home and live swell little motherfucking black or white Guatemalan. This is bullshit. Dave, look, I live in Washington State, one of the most expensive states in this motherfucking country. The last time I checked, a family of 4 to be able to live above the poverty line here in Washington State would have to have a monthly income of nearly $5,000 a month. Family of 4, just to be above the poverty line. This isn't living lavish, right? This isn't steak and lobster every motherfucking night on the goddamn table, right? This isn't big screen TVs in every motherfucking room, right? This isn't refrigerators full of food. This is just to stay above water. But $5,000 a month in Guatemala and I could live like a fucking prince. Now ask yourself this, all you motherfucking immigrants that come here, especially those of you who have anchor babies and shit here, ask yourself this, can I take my Social Security and shit or my benefits, my money that I make here, and I can just go and live in your old motherfucking country? Or do y'all have rules around whether or not I can migrate there and stay there and live there and trade there and own land there and so on and so forth, right? You want me to open up the doors of my fucking country to you. Fan-fucking-tastic. Can I just traipse my ass on into Guatemala and live swell in Tegucigalpa? Right? Buy me a nice little hacienda and live like I'm the motherfucking king of the world? I bet not. I bet you I can't. Can I traipse my ass into Mexico and just say, ooh, nice piece of property, I want it, Nope. They got rules against non-citizens buying land in Mexico. We don't have hardly any of that in place. If you become a legal immigrant, basically the doors of America is thrown the fuck open to you. But when can we Americans go anywhere else in the world and just decide we want to fucking live there? Not unless we're wealthy as fuck. You know what? I'm just going to come out and say it. You black immigrants from all over the world, whether it's from the homeland, from the motherland, or in the diasporan countries, you know what you motherfuckers really are? You niggas ain't nothing but sugar-free devil's food cake for white folks. All of the blackness, right? All of the unique heritage, right? All of the unique flamboyant flavor, right? Woo! We hot, we salsa, we got the cute hair, we got the nice colorful clothes, we can dance, baby. Hit me up, papi. You're all the blackness. With none of the motherfucking justice claim. That's why you get to come here ultimately and do any motherfucking thing you want. This is why you motherfuckers don't see racism. You're the one black person the white people in America is comfortable with. See, when they fuck with Mark Black, they don't fuck with just Mark Black. They fuck with the weight of generations of my lineage and generations of their lineage and the fuckery they've laid on generations of my lineage. They have to face the guilt. They have to face the justice claim. They can't eat in peace with me around. They can't sit in peace with me around. They can't think or breathe in fucking peace with me around. But you little harmless motherfuckers can have your way of it. It's a win-win for white Americans. They can befriend you motherfuckers and say, see, I've got a black friend. I can't be racist. And you'll co-sign them. White folks in America don't owe you shit. So they're comfortable with you. Oh, they love to see y'all sashaying and switching your ass up and down the street on Dominican Day when y'all having the parades and shit and carnivals and all this and that and the third. Oh, they love it. Because contrary to popular belief, white folks don't hate black people. They're actually very attracted to us. They like the way we look. They like the way we move. They like the way we operate. They like our swag. We've been knowing that. They've been liking us ever since the plantation. How come they couldn't keep their motherfucking hands off us? And it wasn't just the slave master. It was slave Missy too. So it ain't never been about the fact they ain't attracted to us. But they fucking owe us. But you bitches get to come over here and play sugar-free, devil food cake ass niggas. Facts. The ultimate reason why you get to disrespect me and mine, why you get to talk shit about me and mine, why you get to walk all over me and mine is because you're all of the blackness that you've been trying to run the fuck away from ever since you've known about it. And none of the goddamn guilt. You're all of the flavor. And none of the weight. And we haven't had the fucking heart to tell you punk motherfuckers that. That shit stops today. That shit stops today. You motherfuckers don't get to tell me shit. I don't want to hear nothing about you politically. I don't want to hear nothing from you economically. I don't want to hear nothing from you in entertainment. I don't want to hear nothing from you educationally. I don't want to hear shit from any diasporan black motherfucker who comes here to Fortress America about how me and my people need to operate in this space, in this place, in this time. Dollar Wheel said they look at whites with gratitude. We look at whites as Stephen rapists. Oh, see, no, Will. They look at American or United States whites with gratitude because they got the same white rapists, pillagers, thieves, and all of that shit and their descendants in their countries. They try to come here in front like racism somehow or another don't exist where the fuck they from. Whiteism is global. It's ubiquitous. It's endemic. It's universal. Wherever the motherfuckers predominate or have a presence, whiteism is in effect. But they come here and stare at us like we boo-boo the fool when we talk about it. This motherfucker had the nerve to tell me and was yelling at me at the top of their motherfucking lungs how they didn't know that they was black until some black motherfucker told them. Just completely outraged at the idea that their beloved white folk might not see them as the loyal pets they are. You black immigrants come here, you side with white folks against us and say, instead of saying, hey, brothers, thank you for the opportunity. What can we do to help? Thank you, Dollar Wheel. You stole my thunder just then, right? You do that. You side with white folks instead of turning to us and saying, thank you for creating the pathway for us to be here, this space for us to be here. What can we do to help make it better? You refuse to understand why we might have some animus against you, especially considering traditionally that each time you come here, the first thing you do is side with our historic and current enemies against us. You work hard to perpetuate the bullshit negative stereotypes that America tries to foster about the descendants of slaves. Because if you knew history, you would know that before we were freed, we were all Uncle Remus, this nice, kindly, gently old man who would serve everybody in the community, slave and freeborn alike. Soon as they actually had to pay us for our motherfucking living, we all became rapists, ne'er-do-wells, and no-goods. But you're not required to fucking know that. It's not required that you know that to get the bag. So you just keep on perpetuating the lazy stereotype that black Americans don't want to work, that we dumb, that we don't want to work, and so on and so forth. You overlay the dynamics from your home country over here on us as if white folks over here and white folks over there operate the same way. If that was the case, we wouldn't be having this discussion. Because I can guarantee you that if every group of white folks could operate like the ones have in America did, they would have been. But the problem is you stuck on an island and it's like maybe 5,000 of you whites and it's 50,000 black people. You better find some kind of way to be nice to them motherfuckers. They still property, they still slaves, but you better find some way to make them motherfuckers happy or soon there won't be no whites on that island. You don't believe me? Just ask the Haitians. Jean-Jacques Dessalines said, leave nothing white behind you. The French didn't twig. They didn't get the lesson that the Spanish did. Whoa. We need to give at least a few of these motherfuckers an entree into our society. You know, so we'll get us some black mistresses and we'll have babies with them. You know what I'm saying? We'll have a few, right? We'll let some free ones, you know, maybe get a little bit of a come up, right? There's way more of them than it is of us. The only way we're going to ensure that is by showing them some degree of motherfucking love. So yeah, maybe it wasn't as brutal in your motherfucking old home country. Bitch, you ain't there no more. This is Fortress America. Welcome to this motherfucker. Here, whiteism was in full-on goddamn display, balls to the wall, all going no quit from around 1619 to 1865. And if you can't fucking accept that we know that, and we might know what the fuck we talking about, and we have every right to pursue things the way we pursue it, and we have every right to identify ourselves as a motherfucking distinct lineage and class and group, then fuck you. Go on. Trump can't build the wall fast enough for me. I don't owe you immigrants shit. I have been deferential. I have been kind. I have looked for ways to reach out the olive branch and say, hey, my diasporan brothers and sisters, my African brothers and sisters, we always the ones here. You ever notice that, family? Let's talk about this before I go. But haven't you motherfuckers noticed that it's us black Americans that are always trying to reach out the hand to every other black person on the globe? Pan-Africanism started here. It didn't start nowhere else. Sure, Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey, was Jamaican, but where did he go to start Pan-African, the UNIA? He came here. He didn't start that shit in Jamaica. When's the last time you seen a motherfucking Antiguan freedom fighter fighting for black people all over the motherfucking diaspora and in the homeland and the motherland? Our brother Malcolm X flew over to Africa and was meeting with leaders like Julius Nyerere and you know, Kwame Ture and all the rest of them, trying to organize all of us together so we can make a push in the United Nations for the liberation and freedom and justices and for every black person. It is always us, the descendants of slaves in the United States, fighting for every other black motherfucker on the globe. And when we need y'all to not even act brand new, just to stop acting like we're all that bad, you motherfuckers run to white folks as fast as you can get there. You sprint to white folks, disdaining us. We fight for you all over the motherfucking globe. I can remember back in the day when the Americans went into Somalia. You had brothers here in the hood, in the PJs. I'm telling you, I grew up in the motherfucking hood. You had brothers in the hood talking about, them motherfuckers is over there in Somalia, yo. We need to get our shit together, strap up and fly over there and help our Somali brothers and sisters. You know, them same Somali motherfuckers that come here organizing communities and act like they don't even know who the fuck we are. Descendants of slaves, you've been too goddamn nice. You've been too nice to everybody. And I'm here to tell you, it ain't working. In 2019, it's about doing what works. Am I correct? So why don't we leave these sugar-free devil food cake ass Negroes the fuck behind? They want to kiss the ass of white Massa and Missy. Let them. This isn't a diss to white people, but white people know what's cracking. See, the funny thing about it is that no white person will watch this video and say that I'm saying anything that's incorrect, untoward. Because they know the facts. They know they comfortable with you. They comfortable with you because they don't owe you shit. When they face me, they always uncomfortable. They don't sleep well when they're around me and mine. They can't eat their lunch in peace. Y'all ever see how white folks react when they go someplace and there's more than 3 or 4 black people who are descendants of slaves in that motherfucker? They sit over in the goddamn corner and act like, hopefully, that we don't see them. We ain't even thinking about them white folks. But they thinking about us. But now, you cotton candy ass, sugar-free devil food cake black motherfuckers from all around the world can come here and be their best friends. They love you. They love you. You're all of the motherfucking flavor. And none of the guilt. And that's facts. So I'm done fucking reaching out the goddamn hand of love to motherfuckers who only want to smack it down. who sneak diss me and constantly try to push their little narratives, their little anti-black narratives, and disguise it as black simply because they have black skins like I do. I'm sick of motherfuckers like Barack Obama and Kamala Harris putting on blackness like a goddamn cloak. This half Jamaican, half Indian bitches running for president announced that shit on the day that we supposed to be honoring one of our greatest and brightest lights. Wrapping herself in a cloak of blackness, hoping that it'll be enough, hoping that we won't put the gaze on that ass and actually put some questions to her. Cause she ain't ready. She hoping to throw a cookout or something and yell ski wee, and we'll all just be like, oh shit, Kamala, yeah, that bitch is getting my vote. Shit. I'm fucking done. And anybody that I can influence should be fucking done. Fuck that and fuck you. You ain't patriotic, so you don't come here because of the love of the country. You're not coming here for the best interest of America. You come here for the best interest of your own motherfucking ass. You don't come here to identify with the downtrodden and try to lift up America as a whole. No, you run right to the motherfucking thieves, hustlers, robbers, killers, white folks. And then project all their bullshit back onto us. I'm done with you motherfuckers. Done. Done. I know who our allies are and who aren't. There are a lot of great immigrant descent folks that are on the team. And I got mad love for them. Because believe me, I can understand how difficult that must be. If you Ghanaian second generation and you grew up as a motherfucking black person in America and have to go home and hear this bullshit about how we are Akatas in your household. Or Brunies. Trust me, I know what you're going through there, brother. I know what you're going through there, sister. So your allyship means just that much more to me because I know what you're sacrificing to have to be able to give it. But for all the rest of you motherfuckers, it's our time. It's time for the descendants of slaves in America to get they due. And if that means that we got to put foot to you motherfuckers next to get it, then I have no goddamn problem with it. I declare war on all of you. You can't ever back our play. You want to play sugar-free devil's food cake for white folks, you go right the fuck ahead. We stomping on you and everybody else that comes along with you in order to get our due. Make no fucking mistake about it. You're going to have to address us. You're going to have to address us. Or you ain't got nothing coming moving forward. Dollar Will, let me read some of these comments. Dollar Will said black immigrants are used to displace us. Didn't Harvard or somebody just had a motherfucking Ghanaian immigrant that they made like the first black like medical director in their medical hospital or something like that? And they said, oh, the first black. So nowadays, we don't even get to have our own first shit no more. We don't get no Jackie Robinsons or no, no Lena Horns or none of that where we break into something. No, the first black motherfucker to ever make it is Chiwetel Ejiofor. What? He ain't a descendant of slaves. Why the fuck should I give a fuck about what he's doing? Not to say he's not a good actor. But take your punk ass back over to the UK or to Nigeria and build up your motherfucking Hollywoods there. Stop stealing roles out of my people's mouth. Motherfuckers like Tiffany Haddish get put on by us and they act like they don't know us. Bitches like Issa Rae get put on by us and they act like they don't know us. Bitches like Barack Obama who get elected by black people in droves, but he's the president of America. Fuck these motherfuckers. America don't owe them shit. I am America, so I don't owe you shit. Fuck you. Stop Stop acting like these motherfuckers come here and they somebody we should care about. Matter of fact, black folk, look, just do me a favor. Stop caring about anybody that don't care about you. You got black people going hard in the paint about these little white kids wearing MAGA hats, calling some Native American motherfucker, telling him to go back home or whatever the case may be. Why is that our fight? As if Indians wasn't involved in the motherfucking slave trade. Those same Indians that when it came time to get federal benefits from the government, open up casinos and shit, promptly kicked all the black members of their tribes off the rolls. Them motherfuckers. Why is that our fight? Them motherfuckers could wear MAGA hats and tell this motherfucker he ain't shit from now until the cows come home. I don't give a fuck. If Indians, Native Americans, or whatever got a problem with that, let them address it with white folks for a change. Why the fuck do you gotta be involved in this shit? It ain't your fight. I declare war. I declare war. I'm going hard as fuck on all of you motherfucking black immigrants who come here and think that because you're the latest pet of white supremacy, that you can somehow disdain and shit on me and mine. I'm coming for your motherfucking necks. I'm coming to hit you where it hurts. I don't want to kill you. I don't hate you. I don't want you to die. No, I want to take your motherfucking resources. I want to close the door of opportunity to you. I want you to hate being in this motherfucker so much that you decide that maybe going back home is the best option for you. Since you can't back my play here, take your motherfucking ass back where you come from. That's coming from a loyal American, by the way. Niggas. So family, until the next time, I want to wish all of you love, peace, prosperity, and power, real power to our people.